The date was November 11th of 2016 when I received a frantic phone call from my mother-in-law at work stating that while on vacation at their condo in Cozumel, Mexico, that my father-in-law, a certified rescue diver, had gone missing the day before. After this occurred, a 4-day search and rescue effort was launched all over the coasts of Cozumel. On that 4th day, the search and rescue effort was called off, as nothing was ever recovered of my father-in-law, a man of 69 years old, 40-plus years of experience as a rescue diver, disappeared, and nothing was ever found. Ever since this tragedy has struck our family, I have done immense amounts of research trying to put together anything and everything that could have possibly gone wrong with him. I also decided to do research just so I could be knowledgeable going forward so that I could inform anybody and everybody that I come in contact with that has experience with scuba diving or considering starting scuba diving, that I could help with their decision if they want to pursue it. Also to inform them of the dangers that they may face and to make sure that they stay safe. Today, I will cover the basic necessary certifications needed for scuba diving, the required equipment that is needed to have a successful dive experience, also the dangers to watch out for while you are diving. Now that we have discussed everything that will be covered, we will move into the certification to be able to have a great diving experience. According to dresseldivers.com, there are 12 different certification levels that you can have to become a scuba diver. I will cover just the basic because I cannot cover all 12 levels that are listed. All of these certifications are handed out by the PADI, which stands for the Professional Association of Diving Instructors. Before a certification class can be taken, any student diver has to pass a waterman's assessment. This will tell if you are physically and mentally able to handle the environment and the surroundings of your diving experience. For this, a student diver must be able to float for at least 10 minutes. They must be able to tread in water. And they must be able to swim nonstop while snorkeling or having a mask on with goggles or a breathing mask for 328 yards nonstop. Once this is passed, then you are able to take your certification classes. Now, the most basic is the PADI diver or the PADI junior diver, which is for younger children or teens. Now, after the class is taken, you are able to, with this certification, swim up to 40 feet under the surface. Anything further down needs a higher certification. It is also advised by this organization, the PADI, that you always have a professional diver with you at all times on any dive. Now that we have covered the certifications needed to be able to become a beginner diver, and have the basic training, we will now cover the necessary and required equipment to be able to experience a great scuba diving excursion. According to divers.com, you can purchase the following: goggles, face mask, snorkel with a regulator if you have just goggles to be able to breathe, a wetsuit and fins, oxygen tanks, a buoyancy compensator, and a diving computer, also known as a diving depth finder. The goggles and breathing mask. The goggles are able to let you view your surroundings and make sure you are safe. The breathing mask or snorkel help you breathe underwater. Oxygen tanks will also have a regulator, a primary and a secondary. Oxygen tanks will cover you underwater with your oxygen so you're able to breathe. The regulators will help you regulate how much oxygen is left in your tank. The primary is where you will look at that. If the primary fails, you have the secondary. The fins, you want to have the best quality because without the fins, you will have leg cramping, and this can cause problems while you're swimming. You also want to have a good wetsuit because depending on the environment, those regulate your body temperatures. Now, On top of your wetsuit, you're going to want your buoyancy compensator. This will hold your oxygen tanks, anything that you have on you, including your weights that will help you go to lower depths. You will also have your diving depth computer. This will make sure that you know how far down below the surface of the ocean that you truly are. The buoyancy compensator also keeps your buoyancy neutral at any depth and will help you resurface as you go. Now that we have covered all the equipment that is necessary for a great diving experience, we will now make sure that we cover what dangers to look out for while you're on this diving excursion. It is imperative that you stay safe while you're out there because anything can go wrong. Now, the big thing that you want to watch out for is equipment malfunction. You want to make sure to keep an eye on your depth finder to make sure that that doesn't malfunction so you know how far down you are. You want to keep an eye on your regulators, your primary and secondary, to make sure that they are equal and make sure that they are able to regulate how much oxygen you have left so you know how much you have to be able to resurface. I also want to cover any problems that the diver may physically experience while underwater. You want to watch out for wildlife around you, as sometimes wildlife under the ocean, the attacks are rare, but unprovoked attacks on divers can happen. It is important to keep an eye on anything that is surrounding you, animal-wise. You also want to make sure that you do not get decompression sickness. This occurs when the diver is starting to resurface. As the pressure outside the body, you want to make sure that as you're resurfacing, that you stop at certain levels. If you don't do that and get your body used to the pressure outside the body, your lungs will expand and explode. And this is all from travelsites.usa.org for scuba diving information about decompression sickness and becoming narked. The other thing I want to cover is what we believe happened to my father-in-law. This would be the nitrogen narcosis, or as I know it, narked. This is when the diver gets down to a low level. We once found a picture on my father's laptop after he passed away, where he took a picture of his depth finder, where he took a picture where he was on a solo dive. He was known to push his limits. He was down at 278 feet for an hour, which is extremely dangerous. At that level, chemicals and gases at the bottom of the ocean begin to rise up to the diver. This causes the diver to become impaired and disoriented, and may, at further depths, cause the diver to fall asleep. Now, with the weight on him to help him go down further, or any diver to go down further, this would cause them to continue to float down, and they would have fallen asleep and drowned. These are things that you need to watch out for while you're scuba diving. And in conclusion, I want you to know that scuba diving can be amazing as long as you have the necessary equipment, the necessary certification, and you keep an eye on your surroundings and anything that might impair you or be a danger to you in your environment. Please, in the future, if you ever go scuba diving or you think about scuba diving, know that it can be a safe experience and that having a professional with you is the safest way to make sure that you stay safe. Just promise me one thing. Never go diving alone. That is what I want to be taken from this speech. Never dive alone. Thank you.